Look at his tiger stripes. Little tiger. Okay, so, hey guys. Can finally talk again because there's not people here. Look, people were here. The signs of people. It's a pizza. And some product. So I just had the busy time here so I can make some more videos again now. So I just wanted to go first to this quote here, or this comment that a guy made on one of the videos. So Lee Wenzing. Alright, let's read this out first. Sorry, I just woke up. Oh, even got a dry throat. Beautiful. Okay. So, organic portals are actually the dumb portals who are harmless as they are too stupid and too neutral to turn against anyone. The reason why dumb organic portals seem to turn against you is because they can be easily convinced by the robotic portals to do so easily, as they don't do any thinking. It's easy to get along with organic portals as they are simply background humans with no intentions in life and just stupid third-dimensional personalities, and aren't in charge by the Matrix of sabotaging you. Yeah, I agree with all that. I just made a video called Organic Portals Are Not Matrix Agents. Like, they're not the same thing, they're just the pawns for the Matrix agents. The ones that are in charge of gang stalking are the robotic portals who drain your energy. Yep. In fact, it's possible for a organic portal to become a robotic portal. Yep. The only difference is the robotic humans are 50 to 100% parasitic energy, while the normal neutral organic portals you see on the street are 20 to 49% parasitic energy. Yeah, I pretty much agree with all this whole comment. Hey, like pretty exactly. The higher the parasitic energy is, the more toxic they are, the more they will bring trouble for you when you're around them. Yeah, you see it in their eyes too, like they've got this immediate like death stare at you, like they're gonna try and, they need to get you in trouble or something. So look out for that toxic look. And sometimes it's got a association with the deranged type of hypnosis, depending what entity's in there. Like if it was Baphomet alongside, I don't know, some other entity, then you would see a little bit of like this deranged hypnosis in there, for instance. So all the different entities, all these like, famous different demonic entities, like Baphomet is one, they all have different energies, Lucifer, Satan, all of this. And the more toxic they are, the more they will bring trouble for you when you're around them, and the more they will try to turn the dumb neutral organic portals against you. Yep. Across my life in the Matrix, I have learnt that most autistic people have a beautiful soul, and their parasitic level is normally between 0 and 19, so they are harmless and non-draining to get along with. I love being around them as they are hospitable by archons. Yeah, I agree. And, I think I have a little bit of Asperger's, which borders on genius if you have it right. And I think I've been instilled with that. I've also been diagnosed when I was younger with ADD and ADHD, which I definitely know I have. And they're not just, erroneous things. It's just like people in the conspiracy movement try to say, oh, they're just like made from vaccines. That can play a role in it, but I do think there's actually a higher energetic vibration associated with proper ADHD like I have, and I think it was Dolores Cannon who made this up, or some other lady. ADHD means attention dialed to higher dimensions, not a deficit disorder. It's only a deficit disorder in this physical lower dimension because it's so boring and slow. That's why we have trouble paying attention at school. Now, I passed all of school, I graduated a TAFE certificate in furnishing. So, I've got pragmatic skills. I can do it all. But I even, surpassed a bachelor degree at university. So I've completed all of their education. Now, my point is that, when you're autistic, you have trouble with their bullshit because it's like so lame, boring, and straight down the line and non-imaginative and so on. So, like English, for instance, you see I have, a good enough grasp over English, right? But I only just passed English at school. That was one of my worst subjects, English, because I couldn't be bothered learning it. It's just like, well, it's English. I can already speak it enough to get by. I don't need to, know the ins and outs of it all. And I sort of took that mindset back there in like grade 10, and I remember I only just passed English. However, in math, like I'm not retarded or, like really stupid or something, because, they even wanted to upgrade my maths class. We had like maths A, B, and C or something, and I was in like maths A, the normal one. Most people start there. And then they said, oh, do you want to go to maths B because you're conquering maths A? And I went, nope. And you think, why not, Ben? You'd look better and all that. Yeah, but it was more work for nothing really, like to learn some maths, which I barely use. We barely use all this complex math in daily life. When do you go around going, ooh, the algebra of the tree? Nobody's going around like that going, oh, look at the algebra of this branch of the tree. Anyway, so unless you're in a scientific job that you need to know algebra or whatever, or an engineer or something. So we all inherently felt that, and that's why we call it the indoctrination system and all that, right? So anyway, I completely agree with what he's saying here, and let's go to his second part of the comment. Organic portals are easily influenced by the things around them and even get along with soul humans without any need for any loosh to be harvested. Yeah, I do notice this. I've said this before, that the organic portals are like inert. But when mixed with robotic portal, the robotic portal will implement a loosh sucking device in them that causes them to turn against the soul humans. And this dumb organic portals won't even know that they are robotic portals now. Yes, perfectly said. Thank you so much for the comments, Lee. And that's why you're appearing in a video, because you wrote it out really well. Well said. And so I just want to not just agree with this, but like add on to this, because I find this very interesting, because I 100% I agree. I definitely I agree with all this. Let's go over what he said here. So yes, like I've said before too, the organic portals are very like inert and like switched off and dumbed down and dense, and they are just their bodies. So we know all the basic theory. The lower chakras are like active in their life. That's how their life plays out according to social and sexual for the bottom chakra, and blah 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 through all the bottom three chakras. Like you feed yourself, navel and stomach and that, and solar plexus is in the play as well, but not the higher heart, or the ascension starts via the higher heart or the heart chakra. And so none of the upper chakras are open. They do say though that by default the throat chakra is active though. Remember, we learnt that off montalk.net, and that's an interesting point. But it's not like it's active, but it's not consciously pushed with the stream of light. And when you understand that these upper dimensions will come through your heart and create vision through the the stream that is the third eye, not the pineal gland of the body. See, that's what fake woke people are like. Oh, the third eye is the pineal. No, not exactly. It's switched on from a stream of energy, and the chakra really is the third eye, right? It's an energetic center. It's not a gland in the body. So we got him on tape. He always flips out like that. It's so funny. Cutest cat. Alright, so here he goes. Alright, don't get distracted. Alright, 1 minute of distraction. Alright, we better not distract ourselves. So let's go back to the comment. Sorry guys. Oh, now it's not there. Right, so yeah, I agree with this. Let's go over this here. All of what he said here with the 50 to 100% parasitic energy, and you'll notice this in their grudge-looking face. It's like they have an immediate grudge against you. Yeah, they're the robotic portals, and I'm glad that you can see this very accurately. So what's interesting about all this is, I agree. Now, hold on, let's switch back to camera here. We can see, for instance, see there, there's people like right next to me there. See the people there? Only 2 pentellas away. But no terrible interaction at all. Now, most of the time, with most people here, it appears what Lee said. They're neutral, they're quiet, and I don't feel their energy preguntering me or asking where's Ben. And like the robotic portals, they need to implement they either implement a device in the organic portal, which is like, so they direct the siphoning device through the organic portal, and then it's like they're switched on. They need to find where you are, like around your tent, like they'll know your position, and that's gang stalking. That's why I have all the planes. They can't help that stuff because unconsciously they're being moved. And the whole idea of following your synchronicity as a souled human is you're trying to be conscious of the synchronicity as well. Otherwise you're no better than them in a way, but you are, because you're, the good side and the forward path. Oh, Jesus. He's a boy cat. Just gnarled on my leg. So, yeah, I've got no problem with, for instance, these people who are staying so close right now. But if there was a robotic portal, and I had this for the last 2 weeks, look how far up this path goes, right? So I've got people staying like right there, but if you go up like 4 more pentellas or 3 more, like right up there, what's interesting is that those people from up there were doing the cough, trying to find my position. Remember, gang stalking is frequency stalking. So it's like when you're in your tent lying down, you're doing nothing. You're like concentrating on your phone, looking on the internet, and then suddenly you feel bad energy. It's like the wave of the siphoning device is sucking you, and you feel it. And then, in order for them to connect to where you are, they need to know where you are, your position. So from, way up there, you can feel this. Oh, no. Oh, my God. So from way up in the path, not just there, but way up in the path, I could feel these other people. They will feel where I am around my tent. And then you feel that they're feeling you, and the situation immediately awkwifies. You get the awkwardness and that stiff vibration, and that's when they've got you in the hold. They know where you are, and then the siphoning and the harvesting of your energy begins. So that's how it works. And yeah, good sentencing. Lee, I'm glad that you wrote it out really well and pretty much perfectly worded it. So it's interesting because he's written this right when I've got the perfect example for me. I mean, to you guys, you're just looking here like you can't see much, you don't understand the situation. I mean, I get it, but that's why I've made it, I've tried to make a point of it. Like, these people here are close, and if it was robotic portals, I'd be in such pain right now. But nothing. Woke up with, they've concentrated on their life, I've concentrated on my life. Do you understand? No problem with these people. So, but they're organic portals for sure. For sure they are. I can go over them, maybe not all of them, but, you know, they're in the same vibe of the organic portal. You know, they're not doing great work, they're just ordinary people, blah, blah, blah. I already know. Okay? So, this is what's interesting. You know, organic portals are not really the Matrix agents, remember. Even in the movie The Matrix, they're just doing their everyday thing, but they're the ones who are capable, cause they're empty inside, to be able to be taken over by the agents of the Matrix, which are the robotic portals. Well, what is Smith? And what is Smith and the other agents in the movie The Matrix? Think about it. What are they? They're robots, remember? It's all a mechanical matrix. Do you remember? Just because they look like humans. But yeah, essentially Smith is a robotic portal. So, you know, and he ends up taking over by implementing himself onto other people, or the organic portals, and even the Oracle, right? But that's the surface virus. It's able to implement on me as well. It looks like wanting more material gain. It looks like service to self, and so on. It looks like a closed down, no cosmic truth integrated ego. That's what the surface virus looks like. It looks like a cross current to the forward flow. It makes you scared of the unknown, you know, fear of the unknown. That's part of the surface virus. Do you understand? Now, Smith in the movie The Matrix, he like plays that, and I mean, it's a movie, right? It's not going to be absolutely, you know, perfect to the complex nature of our reality. Like, Smith is not here sticking his hand into me right now, but it's an analogy, right? It's metaphorical. But what I'm saying is it's 100% an allegory. It's 100% accurate an allegory. Like the story of, you know, how Agent Smith is assimilating people, that's most definitely, you know, accurate. It's just how he does it, you know, isn't exactly accurate. We don't have someone going, sticking their hand into us and the grey goo comes over us. Probably in 20 years, they'll be able to physically do that though. So yeah, that might well be on its way. So, sorry, just waking up relaxed. Trying to wake up relaxed, you know, not just heavy into a video, brah, 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 brah. So, you know, I really like this adage, and this will help us, you know, refine how we see all this. Alright, what did I want to go back to? His comment here. Let's see, his comment. Oh, there it was. Yeah, I have to say that I feel the autistic people the same. I guess I have that a little bit of that energy as well. But remember, ADHD, and that why I mentioned it is because it's on the autistic spectrum. I'm glad that they, you know, the pragmatic scientific like people have now at least called it a spectrum. So yeah, so what happens is that, the robotic portal implements a sucking device, and it's just like mental frequency control, and it definitely is associated with abhorrent vibration and fear vibration, and positive charge both accumulates from that, and you're also more susceptible to the robotic portal's mind device harvesting through you as an organic portal body if you're in more positive charge. You're out of alignment. You become more the surface virus. Remember, one anion, one negative ion aligns 1 million water molecules, and when you're lining up the water in your body, you're mostly made of water, all the cells line up with the water, and so what happens is you get better cellular communication, and that's you. I'm glad Lee here has mentioned parasites, because the parasite's mind is not you, and the robotic portals, like he said, and I have to agree with, are 50 to 100% parasitic energy. And what he means by that is mentally they're either half or more taken over, and once you're at 50% taken over, it's like you may as well be done. It's done for. That's it. Once you're at 51% parasitic energy, you're more parasitic energy than you are you. Well, it's at 51%. You see that? So I'm glad you noted that, actually, because everything works on spectrums. So, everything is not black and white. Remember, we exist in a spectrum. Everything is a grey spectrum from black to white. They're just the extreme ends of the spectrum. So, that's my point. If someone is not talking in a spectrum manner like this, then, it's not the end state of realization. Something's not completely sewn together in realization yet. The epiphany is not really at its core yet. So I'm glad he's mentioned a spectrum here, and I agree with the percentages here as well. The normal organic portal is going to be like 20 or whatever to 49%. I'm glad you put 49, because that's why I just noted 51%, because that means you're more the parasitic minds. And I say minds like because they're hive minds, all the bacterial colonies, all these astral entities, and they come together and they form a sort of conglomerate of demons against you, right? So when he says 20 to 49% for the average organic portal, yeah, I feel that. I study parasitics and health and stuff as well. And the thing is, once I've started to study that and get, parasites out of my own body and become, healthier in that manner, and with the sensitivity of the anionization and meditation and heightening my vibration with psychedelics and stuff, I can really feel this stuff, what's being discussed here, the percentages of parasitic energy in people. I mean, I can feel it. I can feel if someone is, only at 20% or if someone is 60%. The difference is astounding. And, at 60%, it becomes, physically, pragmatically obvious on their face. You know what I mean? Their face gets construed different ways and so on. It's like they're constantly tired and grumpy because the parasite is draining you. That's why. You know how like you wake up and your face looks like you've aged like 20 years. You feel like crap some mornings. Like the morning I did the Hyperborean video, I hadn't slept for 2 days. Like that's a reasonable example. I wasn't grumpy, but when you wake up and you're real tired and grumpy and like that, well, that's what the parasitic energy or parasites, when you're filled with them, have you in anyway. Unless you keep feeding them, and that's why people get so fat. Because watch what happens. Say you've got a huge belly, and you're bloated all over, and you're really a fat person. Do you notice that what happens is, as soon as you stop eating, you go into pain? But if you keep eating, you feel alright, and you think you're healthy because you don't feel bad. And that's just until, a body function breaks down and you get diabetes or this or that, right? That's just in the meantime. Do you understand? So if you don't feed them, though, their sugar or whatever, their meat, then what I noticed what happens is you go into this energy because they have to drain energy in another fashion because you're not feeding them anymore, the parasites. So if you stop feeding them, then they start trying to drain, your light energy from each cells. They start squeezing your cells more. And believe me, they're surrounding your cells because look how fungi works out in nature. We've all got fungi in us. You know how they say we've all got like a little bit of salmonella and so on in us, and E. coli. It's the same thing with fungi. We all have like fungi. They're just the spores are in the air, guys. This is why you have to do so much detoxing. The planet is like, very toxic at the moment. There's like 80,000 new chemicals after World War II. It's a lot of chemicals. But yeah, the spores, of these fungi, black mold, green mold, whatever, white mold, it's all flying through the air, don't forget. You're breathing it in. So when you're a fat person, this stuff just can't make its way through the system as good, and you're already clogged. So then all these bad things, they clog up more. The situation just gets worse and worse. I'm telling you, the main reason for us, our bodies extinguishing, is definitely intercellular junk. Because that's all of this culminates in intercellular junk. All the parasites, all the fungi, the mold, all of it. The worm, all of it. The worm releases the mucosa, works with the bacterial colonies. The mold, the fungus, they're all connected. They're all friends because they're in you, the host. They're trying to drain your cells of energy. They squeeze your cells of energy and nutrients if you stop, feeding them their sugar snack or whatever it is. It's mostly, a lot of these parasites are connected to sugar, funnily enough. And like a friggin' hive of bees, but like a hive, we have sugar in every town, everywhere in the world, don't we? Something's making some noise down there, sorry. So yeah, this is a good comment. Thanks a lot for this, I agree. Let's see what else we can get out of this. Yeah, so the robotic portal will implement a loosh sucking device in them, in the organic portal, that causes them to turn against the soul humans. And that's when they suddenly, they were inert, everything's okay. And then, for instance, like now, if it was to happen to the people just up here that I pointed at before, it started off everything's okay, everything's inert, but then if a robotic portal gets to them, for instance, the manager here, which I've said in many videos, this manager of Camping Marindia, Uruguay, has Archon, demon, entity, spirit come through him. So when he's in that energy, what will happen is, through vibration, through mental fear, through mental programming, unconsciously and subconscious, like psychic information transferal, suddenly the organic portals will be against you for no reason. Or something can be physically said in English, in little mouth noises by the monkey body as well, and it'll be carrying the vibration in it and behind it. And it's a type of vibrational implant. It's a negative entity energy implant. And I've said the way you heal these is by nature sounds like birds and stuff, and by sitting in nature. It's the best way to heal it all. Sure, you can do solfegios, sacred attunements and all that. That all helps. Clearing your throat, the throat friction by Samuel Sagan. Sonic resonances. Like, who's that guy? Astarius Miraculi. I like his video with the didgeridoo. Like sonic resonance on the throat, stuff like that. You can use all those methods for sure. That's made me realize that it is a an energy frequency implant, and this the loosh sucking device is established and manipulated in that fashion. So this is not something that's ever gonna, become very, very scientific, very pragmatically verifiable. You know what I mean? Because this is the realm of the higher dimensions. This is, telepathic interplay. This is, sub-harmonics, and they're not aware at this level, and let alone will the instruments be able to pick it up in science and so on. Do you see what I mean? So this is a perfect example of how science is not a way. It's a fantastic method, but it's not a way. Religion is also not a way. Religion and science, they're not ways. They're both very third-dimensional constructs, and the only things that create a way, like a pathway, and I mean, non-stoppable, it never stops, is yogic, psychedelic, alchemical walk and mentability. Sure, then you can use some of the words from some religions, maybe. That's the worst. And sure, you can use plenty of stuff from science, but they're not their own individual ways. They would not keep the universe alive. They won't end up, doing it for us completely. Well, because don't you notice the universe is psychedelic? Every day it morphs in front of you. Everything's moving and breathing. Everything is living morphology. Everything is morphing. That's psychedelic. It's like when you go in, oh, that's who it was. It was Oro. I heard some noises in the bush. You've noticed that reality is psychedelic, right? It is moving and morphing. It's like one of the main things you think of, one of the main facets of the idea and word of psychedelic is morphology. You go into a trip and everything's morphing and shapes are twisting and moving. It's morphology. So reality itself is definitely morphing all the time. Look at every new invention and iteration of manifestations. And it's alchemical, which has the same idea about it. Alchemy is morphing things. Like turning lead to gold is morphing lead to gold. And we all know that that's the stupid end of alchemy. But I just had to say something pragmatic to even show you right down to the pragmatic. It's true. Yeah, so it's interesting, the dumb organic portals won't even know that they've just suddenly become a robotic portal. I definitely agree with you. That's that unconscious nature of them. And yeah, we've talked about robotic portals, as, the dark lead, the dark stars, they're the agents. They're the proper agents. They're the ones who always have the negative entity, on them. Always. It's always there. So someone like me, a souled human, I might go through a bout of, unconsciousness for a month or two where I, take on some demon entity energy or something. Maybe I'm angry or something, or, maybe I'm an alcoholic or something and my liver is turned to shit. I'm just saying, not me personally, but an example. And then you get angry, you get into those energies. Even Yoda said anger is a path to the dark side. Good old Yoda. So, it can happen any which way. Each organ can be frozen and it can be implemented that way. I've talked about the organs of the body integrating cosmic music, but if they stop and become the surface virus, and everything becomes the same and frozen on the surface virus, you get inured into fear, and you become your lower dense body, this is where you're susceptible. Now, it might be only momentarily you get one of these harvesting devices implemented on you, and you become, for 1 minute or a couple of seconds, kind of almost part of the problem. And, you go into that vibration. But that's so momentary for us. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we have a lapse of consciousness, basically. That's the worst it gets for a soul or self-spirited human. But the robotic portals always got this blind spot. That's what's interesting. Now the organic portals, they are only blind spot. They're like just so unconscious, right? And that comes from being horizontal, not being vertically spiritual, and hence why we call them spiritless humans. They're not themselves, they're not their own spirit, they're empty, hence they're capable as an empty shell of being taken over by whatever, in this case robotic portals will, and harvesting and energy sucking. So yeah, the robotic portals like constantly got like the negative entity on them, and it's like always influencing like almost everything that they say and do. Pretty much everything that they say and do is guided and directed, and you'll see this in their eyes as well. They have like this it's like a look on their forehead, like their how to say it, like over serious look. That over serious look, and like they're gonna try and you already know that they're already gonna try and do something to you, put you in a problem, try and get you into trouble, get you kicked out of the house, get you kicked out of the job you're working, whatever it is. But you'll see this like on their face even, right, with the robotic portal. They're definitely not inert. They're like always working, always scheming against you. So the entity is like always there influencing their mental state. And that's because, like you said, they're 50 and over, 50 to 100% parasitic energy. While the normal neutral organic portals you see on the street are 20 to 49% parasitic energy. Yep, I agree. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Yeah, I don't want to, tangent too much. I think we've kept it nice and straight down the line on this comment and of the idea of the robotic portal and, turning organic portals against you, and, this whole idea of this whole video. So I don't want to, now go tangent off into entities, or I don't want to, reiterate anything. I think we've kept it straight down the line. Please like the video, and look, it's interesting because if you share the video to any, Facebook group, social media, whatever platform, what happens is then maybe you don't even need to press the like. Maybe you can just copy paste the URL onto some social media post, and then 10 of your friends come and like the video. I don't even need your like then. You know what I mean? So I prefer you guys to share the video if you can do that. I mean, it takes a couple of seconds longer. Copy paste, open a browser, open another browser, and copy and paste. I mean, it's like 10-20 seconds of your time, and I just took 40 minutes of my time. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you're going on about it's us versus them, act like it then. Be us versus them. Work with me. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make videos for you every day. So work with me, not against me. You know what I mean?